WWE Elimination Chamber is in the books, and man, a surprising finish to this one, Nick, unless you listen to the Job Guys preview show. Nick and Ryan here with you, and yeah, that was one of the possibilities we mentioned. They didn't give Miz the money in the bank from Otis, and then they didn't give it to him again after he lost it for no reason. Had a feeling with this extra pay-per-view that Miz may be walking out of here with the title. He does exactly that, Nick. The Elimination Chamber match from the Raw side was the last match. Bobby Lashley, once again, let's play that clip.
Title for title at Mania versus Bobby Lashley, because we've seen him fight everybody else.
Yeah. Something that we said may happen. Lashley and Drew with a feud. He beats up Drew after he wins the chamber. Miz comes in, cashes in, they go off the air. Just your general thoughts, Nick, on how this thing ended. There's a lot of people that aren't too happy with this.
We said you called it last night, and you're right. They gave him the money in the bank case. You expected something to happen with it, and I think it was all based on this. This may even go back to the point when they gave him back that money in the bank case, because they were thinking, we got a pay-per-view 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. I mean, this is just, kind of almost unheard of, so close to the show. But yeah, I guess they did. And you assume Miz, I would hope he's losing it back at Fastlane or something's happening. I can't see Miz riding into WrestleMania. I thought the rest of the chamber was okay, I guess. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Again, hard to book. 2 chambers. Felt like I was watching the second one, the same one over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, the guys, I thought they did a decent job in this one and the other one. Guys didn't look terrible. When they were eliminated, right. You got to be careful of that. So many guys getting pinned in one night. But I was just, as soon as you said it the other night, Ryan, I had a growing feeling when you said it that they're going to put this on the show. And there was Bad Bunny. Watched on Saturday night's main event. Called it on the show here with the 24/7 title. They're
Saturday
looking
Night Live,
to get publicity.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. He had it during his second song last night on Saturday Night Live, sitting there with the thing draped over his leg. But back to Miz real quick before, there isn't a ton to break down in the match. I thought the match was fine, but why are they doing this with the Miz? Because you had the Bad Bunny stuff happen earlier, so everybody assumes it's going to be a tag match at WrestleMania, Miz and Morrison against Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. So why give Miz the title if he's not going to take it into Mania? Well, they're getting some pub here from Bad Bunny. So in the build-up, I assume, oh, wow, Bad Bunny is facing the former champion. And up until 3 weeks, I assume he's going to fight Drew again at Fastlane. Drew will win, maybe because Bad Bunny interferes and costs him the title. Don't let me forget that point either. But that way they can build it, and then in publicity and everything, they can say, oh, he cost him the belt. Bad Bunny cost Miz the belt, the former champion. So they think that makes this feud bigger, and outside eyeballs that may be checking this out for the first time because of Bad Bunny, they will think that this is a bigger match than what it is. I still fully expect it to be that tag match at Mania, and then Lashley will fight Drew at WrestleMania, something you brought up last night in our preview show as well, because obviously they set that up. Why would Lashley come in there and beat up? There was no purpose. He just showed up and beat him up for no reason. So that's where they're going to go with that. With Drew, though, okay, so you're building up the Miz so he can fight Bad Bunny. But my gosh, Nick, Drew loses again. And there's circumstances behind his losses, but you and I do not like champions losing at all anyway. This is now at least his fourth loss in the past year, twice this week. I mean, again, it's the Money in the Bank thing, but man, this guy, they are downplaying this dude, man.
Yeah, we've never been a fan of this. The champion, a count out, a DQ, that's fine here and there. Shoulders should not hit the mat. The guy should not be tapping out. And now, again, he loses tonight, as you said, circumstances with Bobby Lashley and The Miz cash in, but he still lost.
Right.
He lost last Monday to Sheamus going into the Chamber. He lost at Survivor Series to the other champion.
Right.
He lost to Randy Orton earlier in the year, and I'm not even sure that's his only 4 losses. I mean, I'd have to go back and look.
I can't remember. I think he may have lost one other match, and he lost to Orton clean. That, and Drew, Roman, there were circumstances as well. But
it's still a loss, though.
Yeah, you have proven you can't overcome the circumstances. That's what they've proven with this guy. And if you want a champion, it's funny. He was on the Stone Cold podcast, the thing on the network, and they talked about how Drew kind of is the front runner. They like him with the title, where Austin was saying, yeah, I needed to chase the title. And you seem like you're a guy like a Hogan who needs to have the title, not chase the title. And I would somewhat agree with that. And here now he is lost again. They are having him chase. I don't know that I like that.
And it's this pay-per-view, Ryan. They have got to sell. I don't like the Rumble being so far from Mania with
Right.
2 pay-per-views between it. And again, this one's 3 weeks away from Mania. I mean, to me, this is a quick switch so we can switch it right back.
Why not? Like, who cares if the Rumble isn't in January? Who cares?
I'm worried about, and we'll talk later, the Edge and Roman feud, which has been really good to this point. Does it have juice to continue to go all the way to Mania, though?
Yeah.
That's a situation where that one could be early, but this, I don't know, man. This Fastlane pay-per-view, it's really, I think, more of a negative than a positive heading in before WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, let's do a little work here just to tell everybody what happened if you didn't see it. Hardy and Orton started out, then Drew came in, then Kofi came in, immediately eliminates Randy Orton. AJ came in after that, then Sheamus.
No Fiend.
Yep, we got no Fiend.
No
Orton
Fiend
just gets eliminated, and he walks out. He was gone. One of the higher spots in this match was Almas ripped AJ out of his pod. He went around the back when Orton got eliminated and came in early and tried to take advantage of the RKO. It didn't work, so what was the freaking point of it? If he didn't get the pin, what'd you do it for? So anyway, finish was really good. There were some cool spots in there, but really no big deal. AJ gets pinned by Drew. Drew wins, and that's when Lashley came out of nowhere, beats him up. Miz comes down. They go off the air. Before we go back to the beginning of the pay-per-view where the first match was, we did not get the women's title match. And this chamber match started so early, we were thinking, okay, it was supposed to be Asuka against the Southern Belle. Well, she obviously is pregnant, can't wrestle. We thought, okay, there's going to be a surprise entry, like we mentioned on the pre-show. Could Becky Lynch be coming back? Is Ronda Rousey going to come back? Is Rhea Ripley going to come and take that spot? No, they just didn't have the match. So that match did not happen. No Asuka, and this is how they end the show. Only a 2.5-hour pay-per-view here. So anything else on this match, Nick, that stood out to you other than the end? And also, we're looking at Drew Miz at Fastlane, I assume.
That's what it's got. And I as much as I don't like him losing, I understand what they're doing. I think that's what I think everybody does. They need they're trying to pop ticket sales for WrestleMania. They've got Bad Bunny. Miz is out there doing TV and game shows and whatever. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Right. And we looked at the ratings, you and I off air, for the Miz and Mrs. show, and it averaged like 450,000 viewers a week.
Yeah.
Like they think this guy's a star. He's getting 450, if that. I may have even been lower than that. Average 400-some thousand a week. They may as well put Finn Balor in the main event, because AEW and NXT, and then those are getting bigger numbers than the Miz and Mrs. show.
And you got to be wondering how many of those people don't already watch WWE, and on second part, how many of those people that don't watch WWE, that only watch Miz and Mrs., would actually be people that you could pull over to get to buy WrestleMania or watch WrestleMania. I don't know how well it's going to pay off. I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't like it.
Yeah, Miz he's good at what he does, but what he does is unwatchable to me. And it's been unwatchable for a long, long time.
I think he's a mid-card guy. He's a mid-card guy. We saw him at main event level. It did not work. And he's the same. If you want to argue with a different gimmick or a different make, maybe, okay, whatever, but he's the same character he has always been.
Yep.
This did not work.
No, and it doesn't. So that does nothing for me.
Main event.
And if you look at tweets and stuff, people are not happy with that finish whatsoever. So let's jump back to the beginning of the show. The other chamber match was first, and that is the SmackDown chamber match. Cesaro and Bryan started out, then Corbin comes in, then Sammy, then Owens, then Jey Uso. This one maybe surprising a little bit. I don't know if it was super surprising. Daniel Bryan gets the win. If you want to go through any of it, Nick, you can go ahead and do that. The winner then would fight Roman Reigns. Roman comes in and just squashes him. He wins, and I don't know the exact number. I think it was like a minute long. He comes in. Bryan tried to quick pin him, or he kind of played possum, Bret Hart style, threw him in the yes lock. He kicked out, throws him in the guillotine. Match is over. Done. I mean, so that's how it ends. Roman retains. Bryan looked good winning, but then just got squashed. I'm a little iffy on how this one went.
I didn't mind the chamber. I thought they did a good job of protecting Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and Jey Uso, even though the three of them, I'm just not a Corbin fan, so I don't care. I'm glad he went out first. Sami Zayn, no one thinks he's a legit contender for the world title. Anyway, again, who cares? Owens gets eliminated. I thought Jey catching him in the door was really cool. Kicked him, got him out. But I thought Owens got an elimination before. Didn't look bad. Cesaro gets eliminated by Jey. Jey gets a big push in this thing. Cesaro comes in the first couple, one or two, goes the distance till the final three. Like I said, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and Jey Uso all look good. And then Daniel Bryan in the cage looked good. Won the chamber. I text you midway through it. As soon as they started emphasizing his knee, you were like, this is the guy that's going to win, because there's got to be some reason why, to add on why he can't beat Roman, right? So,
right.
But again, Ryan, I thought the chamber did great for the top four guys in it, including Daniel, winning it. That last match looked great for Roman. I mean, he freaking murdered him. Yeah. But Daniel Bryan, I mean, I know he has the knee injury, and you're trying to play that that he was in this gruesome chamber. I didn't think that looked good for Daniel Bryan at all. But Roman's your guy, and he murdered him. And him breaking out was cool. I'll give him that. But and
then we left out that after he beats him in 5 seconds, they do the same thing they did later in the night with Lashley. All of a sudden, Edge comes out of nowhere and he spears Roman. And I think, like, as he was spearing him, he's pointing to the WrestleMania sign. Like, as he's hitting him, and he rolls over and he points to the sign. So, there you go. They're going to fight. Fireworks start going off. And then Michael Cole, for some reason, Michael Cole goes, I believe Edge has made his intentions known. That he's going to fight Roman. You think? Maybe the sign pointing as he was spearing and the fireworks and the whispering in the ear, maybe that gave it away. I don't know. So yeah, we're getting that at Mania. Going back to
you think at Fastlane we could get Roman and Jay versus Edge and Christian?
I hope not, because I don't want to see Edge and Roman.
I don't either. I don't want to see them
until
fight
Mania.
each other.
You may see Ed. I mean, you could see Edge and Bryan against Jay and Roman, or you could see. I was thinking Roman and Bryan could fight, or somehow they do something where Edge has to put his title shot on the line against Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. The winner then fights Roman at WrestleMania. But then you got Bryan losing again, but apparently they don't care. I think you probably will see Roman fight Bryan at Fastlane.
I don't know. I hope not, dude.
And then
I'm
Edge
not even the
against
biggest
Jay.
Bryan fan, but this guy, and I know I've heard he wants to help the younger guys. I've read that, and I get that, and that's awesome. But man, you can't help him if you keep losing all the time, because wins over you won't mean anything.
Right.
And this guy has lost a lot since the start of this year.
I think he has like a 500 record.
If I were them, man, I think Daniel Bryan needs to go a different way. I think he needs to win a match at Fastlane. And I don't think it needs to be a main event match. It can be anywhere on the card, even a curtain jerk. I think Daniel Bryan really could benefit from a win at WrestleMania too, just to get this guy back, because he seems to me right now, like, I mean, if you just started watching wrestling in the last 6 months, this guy's like low mid card.
He's
man.
a nobody.
Like,
he's a nobody.
He's
a nobody, and there's no crowd there. And again, WrestleMania 30 was 7 years ago. So even if there was a crowd there, they wouldn't be chanting yes the way they used to. And that's part of the problem. There's no crowd there to chant yes to get behind him. So he comes down and he just looks like somebody's accountant when he's coming down to the ring. I mean, he just looks like some guy. I agree. I think that I would have liked to see an actual match there, not a 30
I thought Bryan
squash.
could have at least went 5, 8, even 8 minutes. And maybe even if he got beat up most of the time,
right?
Just maybe kick out a couple times of a Superman punch or something, you know, just to save the guy a little bit more. Don't murder him.
And that's coming from two massive Roman guys.
Yeah, I do. I hands down love Roman better than Bryan.
Well, and I'll tell you this, we talked a little bit about it on the pre-show. Once again, cheap plug for that if you didn't see it. We both love Edge as well, but I would have rather seen Daniel Bryan against Roman at WrestleMania. There's a backstory there. Yeah. They could have built that. There are still people that do like Daniel Bryan. And there's a ton that like Edge too. It's just like, what's the story, man? Like,
and there's a lot of people
would have been better.
There's a lot of people like me and you that would have liked to seen Edge and AJ tear the house down.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
That would have been the match I would have wanted to see. But the Daniel Bryan, I mean, especially with people hating Roman right now, him being the heel, it was perfect for their backstory, considering you have no Rock.
Dream scenario for WrestleMania would have been The Rock fights Roman somehow, and then AJ wins the chamber tonight. Edge challenges AJ. Then they have a classic at Mania. That would have been dream scenario. Obviously, we are not getting any of that. This match, Nick, was a really good match. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was well booked. Like I said, you didn't bury any of the guys.
Yeah.
Everybody until Daniel Bryan got murdered after by Roman
Right,
Reigns. But
right. A lot of cool spots. KO
Mhm.
moonsault off of the pod. Uso, the door was open to the chamber. He slams KO's arm in
Love
there
that.
and he's stuck. And then he just starts super kicking him in the face over and over again. Then frog splash him. That was cool. Cesaro had a good showing until he got beat. But yeah, I thought that was a very good match. Anything else? I would have to say, Nick, I'm looking at Brian Reigns at Fastlane, and then maybe Uso against Edge at Fastlane.
Maybe I think it would help Edge to get a win too going into WrestleMania. If he
Sure.
even over Jey Uso,
Well, he
I
hasn't
think
had a match, right?
Yeah, get a match under his belt. Yeah, I think that might not be a bad idea. But I'm so confused on Fastlane, like what you do to not give away WrestleMania moments or matches at Fastlane.
And remember this, Fastlane will be the first pay-per-view that is on Peacock. The WWE Network will be gone in 3 weeks or
I thought
whatever
they
it
said
is.
that you could get it on both tonight. I thought they said.
Oh, did they? Did they say that?
I could be wrong. Go back and check that one, folks. I thought it said it would be the last one airing on both.
Okay. Well, it will be on Peacock, right? Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely on Peacock for sure.
So there we go. I stepped out. The dog was, going crazy. So I had to take care of him for a second. We had the Bad Bunny segment in the back with the Miz. So this tells you they're still doing this. Miz pushes Bad Bunny. Then Bad Bunny just opens up a live round on the Miz. So, there you go with that. Then your U.S. title match. Lashley, Riddle, Keith Lee. Keith Lee, not here. So John Morrison fills in somehow.
Apparently won a match on the pre-show.
Right. What he's ever done to deserve a U.S. title shot, I have no idea. So he's in this match. Did they mention Lee during the match at all? Did I miss that?
I didn't hear it, but again, I was half paying attention to the announcers. So
yeah.
I was watching and working on some other things, but yeah.
Well, how could you possibly not pay attention when they're saying stuff like, I believe Edge made his intentions known? Maybe the fireworks they
do a horrible job.
Yeah. So anyway, this one ends with Riddle winning the U.S. title. Lashley has him in the hurt lock. He's just putting the work on him. There was a crutch in the ring. Riddle comes from behind, smokes Lashley twice in the back with the crutch, hits him with the bro Derek, and then wins. Your thoughts on this? And then obviously Lashley later in the night gets his heat back and he starts beating up Drew.
If you're going to take the belt off Lashley, it's the only way to do it because he didn't lose. They did a great. I thought the match was well booked. He murdered these two guys. He was throwing them around the ring. I text you again. We didn't know. I thought it was just going to be a 1v1. So
right.
No way Riddle's going to beat Lashley. That would just be stupid. As soon as I found out Morrison was in this, I was like, man, this guy might be the fall guy. And you can get the belt onto Riddle, and Lashley doesn't lose. I mean, he's still this monster. And I don't know what they do now, though. Does Lashley just let the IC title go? Does he go on to get a rematch at Fastlane where McIntyre pays him back, setting up their match at WrestleMania? Maybe interferes. Maybe Bobby Lashley gets DQ'd for going over the board. Or do they put the belt right back on him, title for title versus Drew? I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I didn't mind the match because you're obviously looking to push Drew versus Lashley at Mania, and they felt they need to get the belt off Bobby Lashley, and they didn't hurt him, I don't think, by getting the belt off him this way.
No, I don't think so either. It took a couple shots with a crutch, and then obviously he came in later and went after Drew for whatever reason. He came in and went after Drew. at the end. But yeah, I think that's what you're looking at. And I like the way they booked Lashley all year. They've finally done something right with him. I think they can do a little bit more with him. I think they can do even more. But there's nobody else for Drew to fight. You know, we've been talking about they don't have main event guys. They don't have anybody at all outside of Drew and Roman. And who do they fight? I mean, you had to bring Edge back to fight Roman, and now where does that leave Drew? So they're building Lashley. Even with a loss, I think he's good. You know, or losing that belt, I think he's good, and I think that's where we're going. As for Riddle, what do you think? He's got a belt here. What is the future for this guy?
I couldn't tell you. To me, he's just a guy. I'm not super big on the gimmick. Like I said, he can talk a little bit. He's really good in the ring. I'm just not big on the character. I don't see how the character goes much higher than what I mean, this may be his ceiling with this belt and this time right here. I'll be shocked if it's not. I don't see him main eventing, but my question with him is, I mean, they're going to go with him, I guess, as the U.S. champ heading into WrestleMania?
Any idea what he does? Who he fights? Doesn't matter.
I don't think, because you have two, and that's the problem with the two world title belts, they really take away from the IC and the U.S. title, man. When you only have one world title and then just an IC, or one world title and the US, those belts seem like the worker belt or the second guy belt or the next guy belt.
Yeah.
You know, now they're just, everybody's got a belt, especially we got a 24/7 belt. You got two tag titles on two separate shows. You know, it just,
we've been saying it for years, man. And this is like not like some genius thing. You put the one belt on the one show, one on the other, and that is the champion of that show. If you're the U.S. champ, you are the Raw champ. If you're the IC champ, you are the SmackDown champ. And then the one world champ floats.
Yeah.
That's how it should go, man. And it's just absolutely ridiculous that they don't do that, yet they do it with the women's tag team champions.
Right.
They get to float. Nia Jax gets to float between shows. Really?
And look at what's happened. Ryan, I'll tell you, if you look at, of the three tag titles, the one that's most known, most focused on, most paid attention to, tends to be the women's.
Yeah.
I mean, the other two were just
they weren't even on the show. They weren't on the Rumble
not even making cards.
No, they're not even making cards, and they don't have enough tag teams anyway to be doing it, and that's why they do it with the women, because they don't have enough tag teams, so they have to float. But
I think it would enhance all the belts if they did what you did. You said with the IC and US US titles, the world title, and get down to one. The tag champs float too.
Right.
One tag team for the boys, one tag team for the girls.
Yep. You know, I do not need to see Nikki Cross on both shows. I don't need to see the Iconics when they were together on both shows. I don't need to see Nia and Shayna on either show, let alone both.
I think it would greatly help the women's division too to drop to one belt with a girl that floats to both shows. Yeah. They don't have enough firepower in the female division, man.
Well, that takes us to that. Women's Tag Team Championship match, Sasha and Bianca taking on the aforementioned Nia and Shayna. I thought this match was a mess. It ends when Reggie comes down. He hands a champagne bottle to Sasha. She doesn't want to win like that. Distraction finish. Nia hits her, and it's over. And so they lose because of Reginald. They don't lose because Bianca and Sasha hit each other or got in a fight or something. And granted, they still got weeks to do that, but they don't lose because of that. They lose because of Reginald. Just stupid. Not good. Worst match of the night by far, and
It was
meaningless.
And I think, again, another victim of the Fastlane pay-per-view. I
Yeah.
assume maybe we're going to get Reginald and Carmilla versus Sasha and maybe and Bianca or something at the next pay-per-view. I don't know.
Right.
It just seemed like there's so many people involved in this Bianca Sasha feud. Why are the tag champs in this?
Except
Why
for
is
Bianca
Reggie?
and Sasha.
Yeah, why isn't it just them? But I mean, are they trying to do something so they have material for the next pay-per-view? I guess.
Right.
But this just, I think it's hurting the upcoming feud between these two ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's not even the Fastlane problem. It's the Royal Rumble is in January problem. You just have too dang long. It's ridiculous. And we still don't know if Bianca's actually going to challenge Sasha, technically.
Right.
It's just bad. And once again, another thing, dude, what was that interview before this match? Sasha's bad, man. She just, what is with that laugh? And maybe you can say that she's like foreshadowing a heel turn here, but they announce her, hey, and my guest, Bianca and Sasha Banks. What are you laughing about? Nobody told a joke. She bothers me, man. She's not good. She's not good. She's not. She's terrible. Don't talk. Just wrestle. Do not talk at all. Just, I mean, maybe they're turning her, and I hope they do. So we have a heel face match at Mania. But
and Louis said this on the pre-show. She's just a better heel. The whole gimmick. If you're going to run her at that gimmick, I don't know what she can do with other gimmicks, but that gimmick's a heel gimmick.
Absolutely.
And nobody wants to see them going into WrestleMania shaking hands and high-fiving.
Never works.
Let's get a feud. Let's get something going. You know,
how many times has that worked, do you think, Nick? The face, whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's Mania, whatever. I mean, right off the top of the dome, Warrior Hogan. Really the first time we saw it in a main thing. But
Bulldog ever worked because of the circumstance.
Yeah.
It was a great match.
Yep.
But Austin Taker was terrible.
Austin says it didn't work. Yeah.
Bret Hart, Shawn, I guess Iron match. They were both kind of faces but I mean, it doesn't work often. I mean, in all these matches too that we're saying though, Ryan, that did work, these guys were pretty large at the time. I mean, Hogan and Warrior were the two biggest guys in the world.
Yeah.
In wrestling at the point where they went.
Yep.
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels at that point in time could have been argued as the two top dudes. At least they were in the WWE.
America, at least. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't think there was anybody in WCW pulling the weight that they were.
Hogan, but yeah.
But he was. Yeah. Sure. But yeah, those ones. And when you look, Bret and Bulldog were both hot, and that's more the match too. They put on one of the greatest matches in wrestling history to that point in time. Other than
match
that,
really did it. You know, you had Piper and Bret too that same year at WrestleMania 8, but that Piper kind of did some heel stuff there. That promo before that match, Piper is kind of healing in that. But once again, that match is what shocked everybody.
But again, you're saying Piper and Bret; these guys are all larger
all
than
time.
life.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys
Top
are
10.
Big. Yeah. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I mean, God bless both of them. Maybe someday when their career is over, we'll look back at one or two of them and say they were amazing.
Yeah.
And they're good. But I mean, I just don't think a face versus face is going to really sell this.
Right.
They're going to have to turn one of them.
I would. And yeah, and as much as I don't like Sasha on the mic, she's great in the ring. Like, yeah, you can say already that she is probably an all-time great in the ring. And Bianca's just starting, you know, and I like her a lot, but she's just starting. So yeah, she's nowhere near all those people we just named. Okay, so really nothing happened there. We're
No.
getting a Reggie feud here for some reason. Nothing between Sasha and Bianca as of yet. So then that's it, man. And that's the show. Very short, just a couple of matches. And then the last match was the chamber match that we already talked about. Were you shocked by anything tonight? Did you learn anything tonight? Anything that stands out to you that we didn't already hit that you were kind of like, huh, okay? Or are you just way more confused now after what you saw tonight?
I think a little of both. I'm confused because I don't know. I'm just this, like we said, the problems, the Rumble being so far and Fastlane being so close. It just, you made me think about the Miz the other night, man. And now he's your world champion. I don't want to see him at WrestleMania as the world champion, so we're hoping he won't walk in there. You don't think he would?
No, he won't. He won't. But again, you downplayed Drew even more.
Yep. And I like though Bobby though. I hope, you know what, at this point, because Drew is lost. Hope he gets it back from him. I hope Bobby beats him at Mania. I hope they go with this monstrous Bobby, and don't let anybody beat him, man. Let him run with that thing till at least SummerSlam. Hell, even next WrestleMania. Just let him run.
Good luck with that.
I know.
I got a feeling that's not going to happen.
Me too. I think Drew's going to, if I had to put my money on it, I think Drew will win at Fastlane, regain the title, and then Drew will be a successful title defense at Mania. But
do you also think that maybe there's going to be fans there?
Right now.
So they want Drew to have his moment where he overcomes and blah, blah, blah in front of fans. And so they're having him chase instead of walk in with the belt.
Do you think there's a chance Bobby gets the belt? Like the deal was Miz will fight Bobby at Fastlane, and that's why he came down there, and Bobby walks in with the title and Drew removes it from him?
That never crossed my mind. So the Miz made a deal with the Hurt Business. We will take out Drew if he wins, or whoever wins, we will take them out. You cash in. Because he did just kind of leave too. Did you know when the Miz's music hit, you might be onto something, because it's the Hurt Business, right? They're a corporation. So Miz pays them to take out the winner. He wins, and then, hey, I'll give you a shot at Fastlane.
I don't know. Maybe it's heel versus heel.
That's too good for them to come up with. That's too good for them to come up with.
Well, at least if Drew is going to win at WrestleMania, I would rather have him do it. Whoever's going to win at WrestleMania should take it from the Miz at Fastlane. I'm sorry, the opposite guy. If Drew's going to win at Mania, give it to Bobby at Fastlane so he can take it from him. If Bobby's going to win at Mania, give it to Drew at Fastlane so Bobby can win it from him. And I'm only saying this because I don't want the other one to change hands. I don't want Edge to beat Roman. I don't think it makes any sense. Zero.
That is why I was going to say that's not going to happen with Bobby walking out, because I'm praying that Roman beats Edge. And so I don't think they're going to have two heel champions coming out of WrestleMania.
You wouldn't think happen. That's a very rare thing, the heel winning, but two in one night would be.
I don't see that happening. And I don't see them ending two nights in a row with heels ending the show, unless they end one of the shows with like Sasha Bianca or something.
Sasha Bianca does not have the gas to close the show.
Not yet.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound horrible. It just, at this point, unless there's something added to that feud.
Right. No, I don't think it does right now either.
Becky maybe could close the show if
Yeah,
Becky
well,
came back.
if she comes back, yeah, we'll see what happens there because again, that we said were you left with questions? That's a big one
Yeah.
because we don't know what's going to happen there, and are they going to go with Charlotte and Asuka? What are we going to do? We have no idea what we're getting out of that. Anything else on this show, man?
I thought overall, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not the big fan of the Miz. I didn't think it was a bad show setting up WrestleMania. You're going into it. I think it proved a lot of it, though. I think it's going to have people guessing, talking, wondering, and a lot of that was done without 5-star matches, man. These were just good matches. I don't think anybody's going to say these were match of the year matches, any of them.
No, I thought they were good, though.
That's what I thought. That's what I'm saying. You don't need a million nuclear weapons to go off in a match. You don't need all this. Just tell me a good story through the match and make sure you don't murder everybody. And I think they did a good job tonight. I think it was okay. We just have to get over the Miz, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't completely bother me because I know what they're doing.
Right.
This guy is not taking the belt to WrestleMania. And they told you that earlier in the night with the Bad Bunny segment because they wouldn't have done that.
Right.
So, and they wouldn't have done the Lashley thing if the Miz was going to walk in with WrestleMania. So, they're just building their story arc. Well, what I don't like for the 5th time is Drew looks weak again. And so, if they think downgrading Drew is worth maybe getting 10,000 more people to get WrestleMania because Bad Bunny and The Miz, I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it or not. I don't think it is because Drew's supposed to be your dude. So, and what Bad Bunny going to do? Is he leaving right after WrestleMania? What's he going to do? Is he going to be a wrestler now?
I hope not.
What's he going to do? I mean, he's been on every night, which is cool, I guess. But, is he going to keep being on or is he out of here April 12th? And if he is, who cares, Anything else, Nick, before we wrap it up?
I think you had a good pay-per-view heading into Fastlane, though. I think it's setting up stuff. I'll give them this. It's making sense. As long as they keep going maybe with what does make sense. For what you have on the roster, these are not two bad main event matches that we would have to see. Where there's no Cena, there's no Rock, and we got to get over that. Mm-hmm. So Roman, Edge, Drew, Lashley, I don't see what other options you have.
No, you definitely don't on the Raw side. You don't. And I know Braun's name has been thrown. Absolutely not.
I'd rather watch Bobby Lashley.
I would rather watch Marco Stunt. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, so for the next one, I think we could see Edge Uso. I think we're going to see Brian Roman. And I like your theory on The Miz. I like that theory. The rest of the card, I have absolutely no idea what they're doing. But I like your theory there on the Edge. Let's see if that happens. That would actually be good storytelling.
I think you'll find out tomorrow night if Bobby's got a deal going on with The Miz.
Yep, MVP is coming looking for his cash.
At least it would make sense, right? You got to tell me why Bobby Lashley did that.
Yeah, because there's no reason.
Right. It would make sense.
Yeah, I like that. That would actually be one of the better things they've done in a long, long time. That'd be good. Well, all right, Nick. Appreciate it, brother. We will be back once again. We're going to have some Mania shows leading up, some top 10s and some all-times this and worst ever that's. All leading up to Mania. And, of course, we'll be here with your Fastlane preview and your Fastlane post-game show. And we may even jump in here with some AEW stuff. They have some big shows coming up, Nick, over the past couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks, they've got the pay-per-view. They've also got Shaq in one of the worst booked so far angles in the history of wrestling, Shaq will be wrestling.
And we can talk about a little bit the crossover. I've been watching Impact for everybody out there, and
you're the one.
Hasn't been easy.
Not the fan of Rosemary, are you?
Or most everyone on that
or
show.
Anybody
I've been
else.
trying to watch for the crossover to see what goes on.
Yeah, we will hit up some AEW talk as well. Because they do. They got some big shows coming up. And last year's Revolution show was really good. They're setting up some big matches for this. And then again, Shaq will be fighting on Dynamite. That's going to be on Wednesday, whatever date that is, the 3rd or 7th or whatever it is of March. So we'll be here for those. Appreciate everybody watching. Let us know what you think. What's going to happen at Fastlane and Mania? Where do you think they're going? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you next time.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.